Welcome back to the Rock Podcast and Mini-sode number 6 in
Yay.
our in our rebooted series of minisodes. Together with me here, I got Zombie,
Yep.
and I'm of course, as always, Joseph. So today we're not gonna talk about Tales from the Crypt just yet. We are gonna talk about I think it was the first show they did was back in 2018, and the musical or show musical, whatever you want to call it, I'm talking about is the Toxic Avenger, the musical.
Hey.
Which is, of course, loosely based on the 1984 movie from Trauma, with basically the same title without the musical, you know.
Yeah.
Let's just throw ourselves into the plot here.
Yeah.
While trying to get to the bottom of who's dumping the toxic waste in New Jersey, the young man Belvin's discovery leads him to being dumped in toxic waste to die, only to come out as a super strong mutant. He becomes the Toxic Avenger. Alright, do you want to go first again, since you did it on last minisode?
Yeah. Might as well. And this one, unlike the Evil Dead, I have not watched the movie. So this is like my first interaction with the Toxic Avenger in any shape or form. So I have nothing else to base it on. So I don't really know how loosely it follows the original story.
It is very loosely.
It's more like the concept rather than the story that it
Yeah,
follows.
you could say that, because the original movie from 1984 and all of its sequels is basically splatter movies, and they're super violent and everything.
Well, there were some limb rippings here.
But you know, it's
yeah. I get you.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, as someone who has done, like at least in school, a little bit of theater myself, just general theater.
Yeah.
The fact that they were able to do this whole thing with only, I think it was 5 people.
There were 5 actors. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 actors, and 3 of them had several different roles. One of them had 2 different roles, but 2 others had like all the other like side roles, and it felt really impressive with like, because it takes time to like switch clothes and memorize so much more like things to do and everything, with how each and every different character is supposed to be and act and whatnot, and all the lines and whatnot. And so it felt impressive from that standpoint, which made it like all the better for me. With that, they could have easily had more actors, but they went with such a simple approach as 2 guys just changing outfits and characters like repeatedly.
Yeah. The third actor you were thinking about, that's Natalie Hope. She had 3 roles. She played the nun, the major, and
the nun at the beginning. Yeah.
and she also played Ma Third. which is
Yeah.
Melvin's mom.
Yeah. I think it was the mayor and Melvin's mom I was thinking about, because the nun only ever really appear at the beginning, I think.
Yeah,
And maybe the end.
No, I think she's just in the beginning for like 2 minutes or something.
Yeah.
For one song or something like that.
Yeah, for the introduction song.
Yeah.
And then never again.
Hmm.
But yeah, the song's not horrible. Not like, wow, out of the ballpark out there, but they were good for the musical and what they intended with them. And some even very entertaining. I think you have one in mind already. That was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do.
And then,
I do.
yeah. And then the humor was very, it hit really well because they knew when to hit. And
Yeah, there were some improvisation in there as well,
yeah,
which was really funny.
yeah, and just the fact that sometimes you could see the characters having to stand still just by the principle that they were trying so hard not to laugh at either the situation or what was going on or whatnot. For some reason, that in and of itself is also very funny.
Yeah.
Just seeing someone trying hard not to laugh at the situation, even
Yeah,
if it's
and the joke in itself. I mean, the jokes were like laugh out loud funny at times.
yeah. It's just those moments where the actors had to pause not to laugh. It reminds me of like when you start to find like a story someone is trying to tell, but they can't because they have to pause so many times because they're either laughing or trying not to laugh while telling the story.
Yeah.
And you're starting to find the fact that they can't stop themselves from laughing more funny than the actual story in and of itself funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's this scenario I found myself in, and just, yeah, the jokes. They weren't, considering that they had a character that was blind, they didn't, like, they did make a lot of jokes about the fact that she was blind and whatnot, but they didn't feel like they were, like, derogatory towards the fact that she was blind. And they were just... The fact that she was crawling around on the stage finding her cane and whatnot, and just
Wasn't there a joke about it being, offensive that they are joking about blind people? I think there were a joke about that.
Maybe.
Or like a line or something. I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure that there is something in there because it's a Trauma production, and
Yeah.
Trauma is. I mean, they don't give a shit. They
I
do
think
whatever they like.
it was her talking a lot about being independent as like a blind person
Yeah.
and not needing any help. There might have been a joke in there about it being offensive as well.
Yeah. Because they joke around a lot in the movies about her being blind, especially in the first one.
Ah, okay. But yeah, and it just felt very funny, and also the fact that those playing the music in the background were sometimes like part of like the... Of course they were like part of the musical, but they were like part...
They had interactions with the characters.
Yeah, such as, like, I think in the end, one of the keyboard guys just straight up shot the villain.
Yeah, the major.
Yeah, he just stands up, shoots her, and then he just bows and sits down.
Yeah, and that really came out from nowhere as well.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was so fun to watch this. And I'm definitely gonna watch it again sometime.
Yeah. Well, like I said in the previous mini-sode about the Evil Dead musical, I'm not a musical kind of guy. I think most musicals are a waste of time.
Yeah.
But with that being said, again, the Toxic Avenger the musical is absolutely fucking brilliant. I think they could have done it perhaps 10 minutes shorter. There were a couple of songs I was like, okay, move along.
Yeah.
But overall, it's absolutely hilarious. Most of the songs are really good.
Very much so.
And they kind of nailed the type of humor trauma is known for. There are some stage gore in there as well. The only thing I can think of to perhaps nitpick about is like you mentioned on the previous minisode that they should have upped the blood and gore. I feel the same way about this musical because the Toxic Avenger is basically ultra violent independent movies. That's what the Toxic Avenger is, and most of Troma's productions. I think they could have upped the stage gore a little bit, but besides that, I don't have any real complaints about it. It was 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And like I said, it could have been a little bit shorter, perhaps 10, maybe 15 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
But
But at the same time, they really did a lot with just the limb rippings and the guts and whatnot.
yeah, but they could have been a little bit more. I mean, they didn't need to, shower the audience with stage blood or anything like that. But, perhaps something more.
Like they could have had, considering they had the same in the Evil Dead, they didn't change the environment. Like I think the Evil Dead did it maybe once when they did an outside scene or something. I don't know.
They did it a couple of times in the Evil Dead musical. Here they just changed. There were some pipes.
The props.
The props. There were some pipe props that they could open, which became bookshelves.
Yeah.
So, the environment in the show didn't really change. But, I mean...
And as such, considering they didn't necessarily change a lot of it, if they were, like, considering it being a risk of slipping with all of the extra blood, they could have simply, if possible, done, like, splattering on the walls and whatnot, instead of, like, anything else if they wanted the extra blood.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and like, as we mentioned, songs, some of them really banger.
Yeah.
Considering, like, the one we're both thinking of, the best song.
I hope you are agreeing with me here, but the best song in the whole musical, in my opinion, was the one between the Major and Ma Third, which is called Bitch, Slut, Liar, Whore.
Yeah.
It's like, it's absolutely hilarious.
And she did a banger job with the whole thing being both characters.
Yeah.
And like the fact that you could tell in some scenarios who was singing what.
Yeah.
And
I mean, her performance, Natalie Hope, her performance in this musical was excellent. Big props to her.
Especially towards the end of the song where she basically two-faced it.
Yeah.
And just jumping one to the other. That whole scenario was also really fun.
Yeah.
Which also reminds me of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where they did something similar, with the one person being two characters. It was very good musically, but also the fact that the majority of the song was just bitch, slut, liar, whore. And like, sure, the love song Toxic Love wasn't like bad, but the fact that this one was both good and funny, just that's some good soup.
The reason I wanted to watch this musical, because I've known about it since it was initially performed back in 2018. The reason I wanted to watch this was partially because I am a big fan of the first Toxic Avenger movie. And I've always liked this song, which I've heard for the first time on a podcast, which I can't remember at the moment what it's called. Unfortunately, if I do remember what it's called, I'm gonna tell you. But and I've been on the hunt for this from time to time since then.
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to watch this was because of that. And since
Valid reason.
And since I know you like musicals, I was like, we can do 2 mini-sodes on this, so let's do it.
Perfect.
So, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed this. To be completely honest, if I have to choose between Evil Dead musical and this musical, I would actually pick this one because...
Yeah.
Even though it's a bit longer, I thought the humor was a little bit more fun here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really liked the Evil Dead musical as well, but I don't know, this musical made me laugh my ass off at times. So
this one hits different.
Yeah.
I get you. This one was just fun. The songs were, I think, a bit better in this one as well, considering that one. But yeah, also just... I think this one had a little bit bigger budget with the intro we got to this one, which in the beginning looked more movie-esque.
Yeah, you even asked me, is this a stage musical or a movie musical? I was like, it's a stage musical, it's just the introduction.
Yeah, because the introduction was very cinematic in its way.
It was professionally filmed as well.
Yeah.
And for those who wonder, we watched this on YouTube. It's up on YouTube as of this recording, just like the Evil Dead musical. So if you are listening to this in like 2 years or something, it might be gone, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to mention about it?
The only thing I have to mention about it is that we usually don't play out with anything on these mini-sodes, but we're gonna do an exception here.
Oh.
And we are gonna play out with
Oh.
Bitch, Slut, Liar, Whore. Enjoy, everyone.
Hey.
And thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. Hope to hear from you in an episode. Bye.
I hated you in grammar school. I hated you in high school. And if we went to college, I'd hate you there.